Hello, all my weirdos out there. We are returning to some weird non-Toonie Toon days. They're sinful Sundays that have been happening, free sinful Sundays happening. If you're in the Toronto area, let me know and I'll connect you with us if you want to hang out, since we're sort of being social these days. Hang on. Oh, there. I have my eye on you. Anyway, though we did do a live show on Sunday. That was fun. I hope you're there. I hope you didn't miss it. If you did, I did do a shout out the last 2 weeks saying I just wanted to get like 3 more Patreon people, so that would give me some sort of incentive to do a bit of filming for our next film, as that's the only way we're raising funds for it. But it didn't work. I didn't even get 3. I failed. Oh no, I've destroyed this eyeball. Eyeball has been crushed. Yeah. It sticks on the ceiling. Wait till it falls down in the middle of the show. See what happens. Anyway, so that didn't work. I'm not going to whine and demand you to join. If you don't want to, you don't want to. If I failed in that way, I've failed in that way. I'm not above whining and groveling for it. I just don't feel the need to do so yet. So I'm asking you, what do you think I should do for raising funds? If you don't want to, oh, the eyeball fell. if you don't want to or don't feel the ability to, I totally get it. But if you think there is better ways that you would like to, let me know, either in the comments or just shout me a line. Because most of you who do interact with me, I talk to on a regular basis anyway. So, I'm easy to speak to. In fact, a little too much, because if you befriend me on Instagram and we send a few messages to each other, you end up on my regular message list, and I send that to every one of the people on my regular message list, all my memes and weird posts and things I just want to share with everybody. Instead of putting it into my stories, I directly send it just so I can hear you guys comment back. So I feel like I'm not, just out there by myself. But anyway, we did some wacky, silly things. But what we're really getting into is the fact that we're talking, it's Halloween season. The 60 days of Halloween are kicking right through already. We're already 14 days. That's 2 weeks into the 60 days of Halloween. And I have not been spoopy enough, which is why I promise I'll be much more spoopy as this week goes on. What I want to talk about right now, though, is the major franchises of horror films that we all love to talk about at this time of year. We all love to watch at this time of year, and how I feel like I'm almost that guy that I hate when it comes to these things, because I really like the ones that other people don't, especially at least the hardcore fans of each of those franchises. There's the movies that people kind of have a dislike for because the movie is misleading, fucks with you. Obviously, the filmmaker had their own idea, but just bought into the franchise. And in theory, those things would normally piss me off. But in the major ones, like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the classic 80s slashers, I love the odd ones out the most. It's not to say that I don't like the other ones, but the ones that are considered sort of oddballs in it happen to be one of my favorites in each one of those. That being said, that starts off with things like Halloween. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, absolutely one of my faves. It's super weird. Tom Atkins is incredible. I love him in everything. Sure, it's not with the other Halloween series because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. That's not a spoiler. You were never supposed to assume that they did. I remember as a kid thinking that this like one crazy guy at the beginning was Michael Myers without a mask on for a moment, and then he just dies and the movie moved on. But it's not. It has nothing to do with that. But to sort of be spoilers, let's get into the concept that there are witches, which are in a cult. They are in a sci-fi cult using alien technology. They use masks that melt children's heads. Fucking brilliant. I cannot get enough of that film. The soundtrack's wacky. It's all the things that are stereotypical 80s that retro 80s playback movies do, but they actually do it. So there's nothing I could possibly do to complain about that. And then, of course, this thing with the happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. If you followed my blog before, you've read multiple times when I repost the article that episode of Knight Rider where someone uses one of the Silver Shamrock pumpkin masks in that movie to switch with Michael Knight in Knight Rider, so people don't know which one's Michael Knight, which one's the person he's trying to protect. But it obviously is a prop from Halloween 3 because it still has the Silver Shamrock stamp on him. I don't know if it was just a random prop they had laying around or if it was planted in the show to kind of make you think that Silver Shamrock was a thing and those masks existed elsewhere, but that's not the case. Then the other one, now this may involve part of you plugging your ears, because one of my other favorite oddball out of place ones out of Friday the 13th is Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. And it's the one where the kids are kind of like a mental home out in the woods, and why you would put a person who is traumatized about being out in the woods by a slasher out in the woods, especially when the beginning of the episode involves someone getting axed to death because one of the people get in a fight who are obviously crazy anyway. So yeah, doesn't seem like a great idea. But the twist, now I'm going to mouth this out and it'll only take a couple of seconds. So if you don't want to hear this, if you've not seen it, plug your ears right now. It has a fake Michael, no shit, it has a fake Jason Voorhees in it. Oh shit, did I stumble and then you unplugged your ears during that time? Anyway, that's the twist. So unlike Friday the 13th Part 3, this is more of a surprise. But it is such an exemplary slasher. It's like one of those great offbeat non-franchise slashers like Mutilator, The Prowler, The Burning, Blood Rage, Silent Madness. It's got great creative kills. The stalker is just stalking. The characters that you meet are interesting, plus the randoms that just walk in so there can be extra kills. They're also interesting. Fun. I love it. It's absolutely my favorite in the whole series. But of course, it's the oddball out. Now, again, you may want to plug your ears for a second or two because this may be considered, again, a spoiler. But fans believe that the killer who dresses up as Jason is possessed by Jason, because when Jason goes to hell, it relates that they're not all Jason, that Jason's a spirit and does weird things with different bodies. So maybe that's one of them. I am sure that was not the reason when it was made. It was just being its own little spin-off twist. The director wanted to make their own generic slasher and not get locked into this. And so they did things a little bit differently. But of course, a big part of it is because of this girl doing the robot dance that fucking kills me. It's just directed better than most of them. It's just shot with tension and with humor at the same time. They don't separate it into here's the humor, here's the tension. No, it does it all at once, which is great. And honestly, pretty fucking smart if you stop and think about it. Going along that pattern, in the Nightmare on Elm Streets, one of my favorites is Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I don't see what people have a real problem with this, except it's not a rumor, because even in the major documentary, the writer and the star admitted that it was gay innuendos much of the film, and maybe people have a problem with that. But I don't think when even the most bro-ish, semi-homophobic, if you are homophobic, then you're probably going to find a problem with everything. But if you guys close to that, when they watched it, they weren't looking for it originally when this movie was new, so I don't think they noticed. I don't think anyone really keyed on it. I love in the documentary where the director says, that's just rumor, it's not true, and then it cuts to the writer and goes, oh no, it's totally written that way. And of course the star in it, who now tours around, had a documentary about him and his relationship with the fans, brings it up, and I think it's an interesting element. I think it's something different. But what is fun for me about the movie is what is not different is that Freddy hasn't really changed yet. He's getting wacky. They've got some more budget, so getting very creative with the things that he does. He's very much in control of the dream world, more so than to have to explain to you what the dream world is in the first movie. So you have this freedom for him to be a little weird. It alludes to the first movie, but it doesn't dwell on it. You technically don't need to see the first movie, especially because we all kind of know what, even if when I was a kid, before I'd actually seen the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I knew the gist of it. But he's still kind of scary. He's in the shadows a lot. Even when he's doing straight out wacky things, he's still, his face is darkened. Maybe that's because the makeup wasn't as good as it was later, but he looks like he's scrawnier and creepier. Um, and he's not just doing Bugs Bunny shtick. He's not killing you as if you were pulled into a Roger Rabbit world, which as the movies go on, the more and more that happens until New Nightmares, and it tries to like force the seriousness on you and makes him pervy creepy, especially in the remake. But he's just a creepy goblin that's going to kill you, and he's going to ruin your life when he does it. Even when he just shows up near the end of the film and he's just like wrecking people at a party, his ability to kind of be half in reality and half out, even that these wake people are seeing him, they're woke, man. Now, these people who are awake and not dreaming, they're witnessing him now, but he's still kind of a hallucination. I think it was just really smart again and interesting. And maybe because he wasn't played out. I like Freddy a lot, but he does become a bit of a self-referential joke. It's kind of like how I see Robert De Niro. Whenever he does a film now, it's just him doing an impression of himself. He now talks like the way that comedians used to do impressions of him, as if he had to do it on purpose. Like he's forgotten what his own way of talking was. But one of the best parts of watching this is because you get to see, what the hell is this? You get to see an exploding parrot. That scene is ridiculous. It's wild. And also there's a great cereal that appears at the beginning of it. The little sister who appears in the bottom corner in that little animated gif there, she's eating Fu Manchus that comes with big claws. Just random Halloweenish gags in the movie while still being played pretty straight, no pun intended. So those are my favorites of those franchises, and if you have avoided them because of hyperbole on the internet or what a bunch of horror super fan bros think, if you're not that kind of person, do give them a try, because I personally love them the most. I watched all the other ones too, of course, as I said, but those three really, really stand out for me out of that franchise. If those three didn't exist, I probably wouldn't continue to watch them as much as I do. I mean, they're no Sleepaway Camp, but you know, what the fuck is? So if you did miss us on the live show, the random and radical video, it was a small audience because I didn't really push it or anything like that. I just wanted the homies to hang out and a couple of the regulars to check out on my videos to hopefully join the Patreon. No, seriously, do join it. Or come to the event, buy a t-shirt, buy a loot bag. You know, the ones that do are the same ones that do already Patreon. So I love those guys. Thank you so much. I just feel guilty that you guys do so much, that handful of you, because there's only, again, like a dozen people on there, and those people are beautiful people. No, Marilyn Manson's canceled, right? Anyway, you're awesome. That's what you are. Fucking awesome. But I did play a little quick video after I put the video up on the YouTube page for my Things I Love in Toronto, where I'm always supporting the independent businesses that I love and the weird cultural businesses and individuals that make this town click for me, as much as sometimes I hate going downtown these days, because with the stress of the last 2 years, everyone, just good or bad, is sort of just become an asshole. I'm sure I am too. I'm self-aware of that hypocrisy, but there are a lot of people that make this really great, and I want to thank you people, and I want you people to know that you're beautiful people. But within that, though, some of the Americans asked when I took a picture with Toys R Us that I would do a little video going through it, and I wasn't gonna do that. I'd do it anywhere else, but not in the middle of a toy store that was still full of kids. That's a little weird. But I made this video.
Some of you may remember recently when I posted a picture of the only time this year I went to Toys R Us, and Jeffrey the Giraffe was there. So, we're good friends, so we had to pose for a picture. It was great. Some of my American friends, though, were sad because they haven't been able to be at a Toys R Us in years, since they are slowly about to come back, but they've been gone from the States for at least 2 years. So, someone asked if I would do like a virtual video tour, just walk through it and film it. and I was totally going to do that. I walked up to the ghetto mall that has a Toys R Us near my house. It's like the worst one in town, I'm told, but it's a close one. But then I realized, wait, that's really creepy. I'm not going to walk around just filming everything and everyone in front of me in a Toys R Us. But I totally didn't think about that until I got there. So I did take a few pictures, as you're seeing. Here's a couple of things of the weirder toys, the sillier toys. The animal truck? That's back? Why is that back? Anyway, here's some weird stuff. Hope you enjoy. Hopefully everyone in the States gets Toys R Us to come back soon. And I hope everyone is having a fun and spoopy season.
It's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz!
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
And then after playing a whole bunch of clips of videos we've posted in here, thanks so much to Peter, thanks so much to Austin. Again, I really owe you guys lunch, because that's what the 30-40 bucks we make off Patreon gets us. So when we are in the same place at the same time, we will enjoy and manja. But that's again why we're still doing Zoom, because we don't travel to each other's homes all the time. Even that things are slowly but surely getting better, but at least for us, smart vaxxers, because we're fairly immortal. And if we stay away from the people who aren't vaxxed, we won't kill them with our bad breath and our carrierness. But anyway, see, told you sometimes I'm an asshole too. Well, what we did watch is a flashback 80s wholesome children's sitcom on a Halloween special. I had to pick one of the worst ones in my collection because I've got some great ones. I love the Different Strokes ones. I love the Night Court ones are great. Family Matters one is really fun, but I chose a Webster one because it's really dumb. And that's what I do. I make you watch bad things, and I watch you watch the bad things that I made you watch. Like I said in the special on the live bit, that's how I get my kicks, and I hope you do too. Here's a little sample.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the scariest of them all?
Alice Karras is the scariest one of all because he's Mungo from frickin' Blazing Saddles.
Steamy for the community center.
Just being Cher instead of Morticia.
My darling, you are the ghoul of my dream.
Oh, you're.
The thing I always pointed out is that the Papadopoulos, the adopted parents of Webster, are like the horniest couple in all of sitcomdom. Very weird.
Well, here's the last of the pumpkins. Thanks, both of you, for all your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
And, by the way, I took that permanent job as activities director, at least temporarily.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thanks.
wonderful. Now we have to celebrate. What about...
Isn't it great that she was the stripper from Porky's? A weird thing. I mean, I could go on with the Night Court cast and the weird shit they did before they were in Night Court. They all have a lot of horror movie and exploitation connections.
I hope the community center appreciates all the carving we've done.
Don't worry. Frankie Delisle and his gang always recognize good knife work.
Maybe for Halloween this year, I should go as Elvira.
This is my first one tonight.
Hi, Mr. Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos. It's just a fun name to say. That's why I've always loved this show.
Look, why don't I take over for a while and you go back to the laboratory and wait for a lightning storm?
And there's Webster, everybody. Yay! Like every sitcom should do. Yay! When the star shows up, you have to applaud. I had to make this little bit into an animated GIF.
Boy,
If
I love
GIF.
Halloween. Oh, and I have a surprise for you, too.
Now you don't. An old lady!
Oh,
Yay!
Diamond, what a
Guess you'd have to see the
treat.
episode to get the reason why that's a surprise. Anyway, that episode is surprising on YouTube. And after like years of there not being any on YouTube, except for people filming their TV and a beep going on in the background, like as if their fire alarm was running out of batteries while they were filming their TV, someone actually uploaded a couple episodes the other day, which was very weird right after I played it. So I had a very wholesome, fun escape day of just watching more Webster. Found me an inner peace. Like when I watch Golden Girls. The Golden Girls don't have a real Halloween episode. They just have a full moon episode, which is kind of fun, but doesn't really count. At no point do they all dress up in different Halloween costumes and get drunk and then go trick-or-treating as old ladies, because that would be awesome. You're awesome. Stick around. Again, join the Patreon. So I'll put some more wacky stuff on there soon. We'll do some more watch-alongs on there. And I will have guys like Peter and Justin and probably Mike and Austin. They'll be back on, and we'll be going through some clip shows and some things I've found, either from the internets or from my VHS tapes or whatever. Now I'm going to actually go get my VHS tape of the Best of Halloween Havoc at WCW and watch that. And unless you have it, you won't. But come over some more time, then you can. Stay spoopy, people. Live event coming up this month. Live event coming up in October. And on the 30th, I think that's a Wednesday. Just because I know some other guys the SOV horror guys are doing some fun streaming on the 1st of October. But on the 30th of September, I'm going to do like a big DJ set on our Twitch, twitch.tv/Riot at the Movies. Just going to, for a couple hours, probably from like until 9 until midnight, play clip shows and intros to weird, cheesy horror films, because that's what I do. Spoopy movies, as I call them, stupid and spooky. That's some spoopy stuff, as I just play some jams, maybe some metal tracks, some old school stuff, and then some weird hip hop, and then just some like groove tunes at the same time. I mix it up because I am weird. So I'm going to be playing that. So you can just have it on the background. You can be chatting in the chat room part of the Twitch channel if you wish, or just have it on while you're hanging out on the last day of September. So as we'll hit at midnight Eastern time, at least, so when it first turns into October in North America, and then it'll be beginning hardcore Halloween. That's what happens on October 1st. Expect things to get wicked then. And you're wicked too.
Reds, huh?
Change is good. Stick with us.